Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts and Colossal Fossils. This is the Q&A episode, and so I'm back from a hiatus there for a little bit, and so I'll be continuing to do episodes until probably mid December, and then we actually have like a little bit of a time off from the holidays, and so yeah, so let's actually get started with this Q&A episode, shall we? So Mike from Beaverton, Oregon, has I guess two questions for you. Thank you. Was Herrerasaurus the dominant bipedal carnivore of the Triassic, and did Daspletosaurus and Gorgosaurus come across each other often, or would they have avoided each other? Thanks for the questions there, Mike. So your first question was Herrerasaurus the dominant bipedal carnivore of the Triassic? Probably would have. If you actually look at the time when Herrerasaurus was actually around say 230 million, like say 230 million years ago, you would actually suggest you would probably see Herrerasaurus as probably one of the few bipedal carnivores that were around, and so dinosaurs were rare at that particular point in time in the Triassic, and so it would be very easy to say that like Herrerasaurus was probably the most dominant bipedal carnivore. But in terms of the population, it would probably still have been small in order to, because if you actually look at like all those big archosaurs that were actually roaming around at that point in time, those archosaurs were still top predators, and so Herrerasaurus would definitely be avoiding those top predators as much as possible. But yeah, I would suggest is that Herrerasaurus would still be the largest in that particular point in time, 230 million years ago, and probably a little bit of a dominant bipedal carnivore at that point in time. But yeah, that's a good question. And did Spleedosaurus and Gorgosaurus come across each other, or would they have avoided each other? They probably would have come across each other, but they probably have different uh, types of like environments or niches that they would actually have, but they were mostly avoiding each other because Gorgosaurus, majority of their fossils are actually found in Canada, but there's some Gorgosaurus fossils that are found in Montana. Even Alaska is where you can find Gorgosaurus fossils too. So I think Gorgosaurus is mostly going to be in like in the Alaska, Canada, and probably like some parts of Montana, whereas the Spleedosaurus is mostly Montana and Wyoming type of area. So you actually have like your northern Tyrannosaur and you have your southern Tyrannosaur. And so probably in that point where they actually probably would have come across each other would actually be like, say, right around that Montana area. But I would say that they would have avoided each other. They probably had their own type of prey that they can go after. Gorgosaurus would probably be going after majority of the duck-billed dinosaurs, whereas the Spleedosaurus would actually be going after the ceratopsians and the ankylosaurs. So that would probably be more likely the case. But the Spleedosaurus can go after duck-billed dinosaurs, and Gorgosaurus can go after ceratopsians as well. It's mainly about like where are they going to be fitting in. And so, yeah, I would suggest is that because if you look at most predators today, they do not interact. They do not actually like go face-to-face combat all the time. It's because they're going to avoid each other. Because first and foremost, if you're a predator, the one thing you do not want to have is an injury. And so if you're going to have an injury, you're not. And if you have an injury, you're not going to be able to hunt, and also you might starve to death, and that would not be very good if you're a predator. And so predators tend to usually have their own type of prey that they're going to go after. They have different types of territory, and of course, they're not going to gonna have combat against each other. But if you ask me like who would win in this one, I would say Spleedosaurus. Spleedosaurus is stronger, bigger, and usually size wins in that type of fight. But thanks for actually sending me those questions there, Mike. Benjamin from Hong Kong, is Tanystrophius built like a plesiosaur? Is Pliosaurus the biggest of all prehistoric swimming reptiles? Why does Alioramus have a long snout? And who would win, Alioramus or Ceratosaurus? So your first question is Tanystropheus built like a plesiosaur, somewhat, but I think it's more semi-aquatic. Because if you actually look at its limbs, it is not designed to be in the water all the time. It's mainly going to be near water, and it can get in water if it has to. And yeah, I would say in terms of probably like being like a plesiosaur, that's a pretty good description because it actually has a long neck and a small head, can actually reach in to some schools of fish to capture some fish. But in terms of swimming style, not really. It's actually going to be very, very different. It would probably be very similar to a crocodile in a way. But Tanystropheus has got a short tail, and so yeah, I would say that it's more of a semi-aquatic version of a plesiosaur. It is Pliosaurus, the biggest of all prehistoric swimming reptiles. In terms of mass, yes, but in terms of like say length, not so. Because if you want to look at the longest uh, marine reptiles during the Mesozoic era, you actually have to look at the plesiosaurs and even the mosasaurs. Those are actually going to be the longest. But I would say Pliosaurus would not have a chance against the mosasaurs. Mosasaurs are far more dangerous than the pliosaurs, and because they actually are very fast, and also they're probably a bit smarter than the pliosaurs. Pliosaurs are very bulky. They can have speed. It's just that they're not going to be doing speed chase pursuits that much. So I would say Pliosaurus in terms of mass, it is one of the largest, but in terms of length, not so. And why does Alioramus actually have a long snout? Well, it's one of those tyrannosaurs that actually have the longer snouts. And so longer snouts means is that you're not going to have you're not going to have a strong bite force. So your teeth are not designed to crush bone, and the types of prey you're going after are probably going to be more slender in reality, because Alioramus probably may be going after the ornithomimids and some of the duck-billed dinosaurs. They're not going to go after the ceratopsians because that's too risky for them. They could get injured a lot quicker that way, and so faster prey is probably the more likely scenario for Alioramus. And so Alioramus would not be able to have that bite force to actually like go after ceratopsians or ankylosaurs for that matter, because there's probably other tyrannosaurs in that particular kind of time that were more designed to actually go after ceratopsians and ankylosaurs, like Zooxantheranus. But yeah, Alioramus has got that long snout because it's got like a snappy bite than like say a crushing bite, and so it's going to be more like a bite and pull back and get away type of predator. And so it's that type of tyrannosaur where it's actually going to be bite, pull back, and get away and take a few steps back because it wants its prey to bleed to death. And who would win, Alioramus or Ceratosaurus? Two different dinosaurs from different timelines. So you're actually going to have a Jurassic carnivore versus a late Cretaceous carnivore. And Ceratosaurus is a tad bit larger than Alioramus. But in terms of this one, I'm going to say Alioramus. Alioramus would probably have the edge because it's probably got the brain. It's probably got a much bigger brain than Ceratosaurus, and it's got the better senses, and it's faster than Ceratosaurus. And Ceratosaurus might actually get in a few blows, but might get it if it gets like say a bite in like in the neck area of the Alioramus, or otherwise maybe like bite once one of the hind legs, then Alioramus is done. But I think Alioramus actually has the best opportunity because it actually can go after Ceratosaurus at its weakest points, the flanks and the neck, and also some of the underbelly area of Ceratosaurus, because Ceratosaurus is not designed to do full-on combat, but Alioramus is not that way either. So you actually probably would say that Alioramus could actually lose maybe 4 times out of 10 in this one, but I would say Alioramus would still be the favorite in this one. Tyrannosaurs are more superior than Ceratosaurs in general, really. And if you look at the late Cretaceous Tyrannosaurus compared to Ceratosaurus, the largest Ceratosaurus, the Tyrannosaurs are far more sophisticated, and also they actually have much better jaw structure and better teeth, and also better senses. So they got better smell, better vision, better hearing than Ceratosaurus. So, and also they can process that information a lot quicker than Ceratosaurus were able to do. But yeah, I would still suggest Alioramus would actually win this one. All right, that's it for now. And so if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions on the comments section. Please do not send them to me on Messenger. Those are only for private conversations. And so, yeah, and remember, keep your questions short to the point. And you guys can follow me on Instagram if you want to. You can actually follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. And if you actually follow me there, I post pretty cool stuff on there, so you can check that out. And all you YouTubers out there, feel free to actually leave your questions in the comments section, and also hit the like button, hit subscribe, and also share this channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs or prehistoric paleontology and geology in general. And hopefully we get some more subscribers, and also stomp on that notification bell so that way you can actually get notifications about every single episode that does come out. And so next week's episode will actually be a special episode, so I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'll talk about. I might actually go with a mammal on this one. But yeah, and also you can follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Take care of the people around you. And also for younger people out there, make sure you listen to your parents and teachers and your guardians. It's the best motivation to have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. And make sure you're wearing a mask, social distance, wash your hands, because we want to reduce the spread of the virus, and that way we can all have a much healthier future in the process. And also feel free to check out Colossal Fossils too. So I put the link in the description down below, so that way you guys can check out Colossal Fossils on the website, colossalfossils.com, and you can look around and check out all the stuff that Colossal Fossils actually has, and feel free to donate if you want to. And so, anyway, that's it for now. Now, see you guys next week.